Hey, Jarek here, and after I bought that disappointment of a blowback Glock that jammed all the time and didn't really eject like it was supposed to, I went out and bought this. This is a Shellington Flypoint, and it does what that Glock is supposed to do, but significantly better. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily look exactly like a real gun, but close enough. I bought this one off of Etsy. Keep in mind, when you start buying 3D printed guns, the price tends to go up. This one is $185. So yeah, it's not really a casual get one for your child type of thing. This is pretty much an enthusiast Nerf gun. I got mine in red and black because I really like red and black. I don't know how anyone could have come to that conclusion, but you can buy it in a ton of other colors as well. Also, in the Etsy page, be sure to read more. This does use a 2S 7.4 volt LiPo battery. The battery that fits perfectly in here is linked in the read more page on that Etsy page. You can also buy more shells, more darts, extra magazines over there. Everything is linked neatly, so be sure to look. I would highly recommend buying more casings for this because it really kicks those casings out. Ignore the bad lighting and the gun not even really being in frame. This is just an example to see how far it actually launches them. And yeah, they go pretty far, so I can easily see myself losing a few. The battery itself goes in the foregrip. Simply unscrew a screw here, pull off this little plastic piece, and the battery that is recommended fits perfectly in this. No rattling at all, so I would highly recommend getting that one. Once you put the battery in, you can load up your magazines. These take half-length darts, just regular half-length darts. These are Worker Gen 3s. Then you put the shells into the magazine like you would an actual gun. The magazines hold 7 rounds and they have view holes so you can see how many you've loaded in. The person did make extended mags, but I don't have any. I don't know how many they hold. Put that mag into the gun, and then you press the tab on the side of this slide. Be sure to press this button. This is basically locking this slide in place. If you don't push that, you'll break it if you try to force it. The trigger is a pretty tough pull. You do need 2 fingers on this trigger to really pull it. I mean, I guess you don't, but after you try to use 1 finger for a long period of time, it'll just get tiring. The reason for that is that this is a 2-stage trigger. The first little bit of pull activates the flywheels and launches the dart. The second half will then activate blowback, ejecting the casing. The funny thing is, you don't actually need the battery for the blowback or the shell ejecting. That's all opposing strong springs that do that work. Just be sure to pull the trigger all the way. If you don't do that, you're only firing the dart and you won't eject the casing, the second shot won't happen. Overall, this thing performed exactly like it was supposed to. It always ejected casings, ejects them quite far as I said. The darts fire pretty far and pretty accurately for what should be kind of a novelty gimmicky gun. Now, will you ever use this in an actual game? Probably not. You will lose those shells very quickly. But still, I want my Nerf gun to fire as it should, and this one definitely does. The only hiccup I had is that every once in a while it will fire 2 darts at once. And by once, I mean I will pull the trigger, it will fire that first dart, blowback will happen, and then when the slide comes forward, it will fire the second dart, which is a little weird. I think I'm just not pulling the trigger fast enough for that. It very rarely ever happened, so I'm really putting that up to user error. Other than that, if you've ever fired a real gun, or hell, even a gas like airsoft gun, you know how to use this thing. You put in a mag, you cock it, you shoot a full magazine. It even has a functional slide lock, which will lock the magazine back entirely, and then when you push it again, it slams forward. The mag release is in a little weird of a place. You have to push forward on the tab. It is a free-falling mag though, and this isn't hard to use, it's just a little weird. The build quality is great, it's very solid, but it's not perfect. More specifically, the 3D printing isn't exactly perfect. After I shot this gun for a while, I actually started wearing the skin off of my middle finger. The reason is because the trigger guard is a little rough due to the 3D printing. Not something you would necessarily notice if you're looking at it, but after you fire for a while, well, that can happen. Other than that, that is my only complaint about this thing. I love this thing. It's so much fun to shoot. The recoil is nice and snappy. The shell ejecting is amazing. It shoots darts like I want. Overall, if you're wanting a blowback shell ejecting Nerf gun, this is definitely the current one to get. So yeah, I'm starting to ramble now. I'm just gonna stop talking. Let's shoot this thing.